afternoon, this is RFC Maki with the latest in my flight battle reports from the online games in Birds of Steel. This is a match I set up this weekend in a versus mode where I was trying to fly the BF-110C, earn some more kills for that towards the 30 kills that I need to unlock the skin. This time, to be a little bit different, I set up a game on the Stalingrad map. So the Germans are taking off down in the southwest corner of the map, off a little bit of an island, and immediately flying over the city of Stalingrad with a factory to my right. The Allies are taking off from the north-central part of the map. This is a very large map. The other planes are taking off from quite far away. There's a long ways that one can go in order to getting some altitude. Some of the battles seem to take place over the city and over this river here, and a number of them seem to take place over to the rolling hills towards the east. I had a good friend playing this game. His name is Pops the Old Man, or he goes by something F Troop. It'll come back to me a little bit. Anyway, he was playing this game, and he prefers the Russian birds a lot, so I decided to put this on, give him a chance to play Allies. And first thing right off the bat, I spotted him flying his Yak-3, so Corporal Agar in F Troop, that's what it is. There's his Yak-3, and since we're playing in sim mode with no marked enemies, and I kept myself in the cockpit, I turned immediately after following him, recognized that is not one of the AI planes. I assumed it must be him. I think there might have been one other player on that side, but the map was large enough where I didn't see him. I'm here trying to keep track of Pops. Following him, I don't have the energy to go as high as he does. That Yak-3 seems to be able to pull up. He dives down, and I try to get into his path, but couldn't quite get there. Drop my nose down to reverse. I don't know if Pops sees me or if he's just hunting around, but he's going at a pretty good clip here, and doing a nice job at staying vertical, or keeping some of his keeping altitude in his spins. And lost track of him for a second, so I did a quick check of the map to see where he was. Oh no, I didn't. I knew where he was. He was right in front of me, so trying to go slowly to catch up to him. Again, that 110 is very difficult to climb in, so climb a little bit, but couldn't do much now. Trying to look around behind me. One of the things I think I'm getting better at is intuiting where the planes are going when they go past me. And now here, one of my own Allied G50s, or one of my own AI G50s was on his tail, and I mistook the G50 for Pops, so I tailed the wrong guy accidentally and lost Pops. But a little bit of spinning, realized that Pops is there just in front of the AI. I took a quick couple firings. I don't think I did anything to his plane, or I'm not sure that I did anything on those hits. And there he is up again, pulling reverses, leaving me entirely on the chase part of this, but at least I'm in offense and not on defense. There he is a little bit lower on the horizon. And there's the AI G50 from my side going after him. Here, I try to raise my nose enough to get a shot, and Pops actually goes higher than my plane's nose does, so I completely blew that shot as well. And you can see I'm kind of moving sluggishly at this point, lost a lot of velocity, so trying just to dip my nose down a little bit in order to keep the turn. But there he is again, the higher plane on the right, with the G50 on his tail. You can see the distinctive wing shape, so I anticipate pull a lead turn there and gain some distance on Pops here, and try a few shots. Unfortunately, I was pulling G's on those shots, and so all the shots went behind him, did not lead him far enough. And again, trying a couple shots, hoping to get something on him. Looks like that time I did manage to hit his oil tank, and Pops pulls a dead bird move right there. Looks like he's going down, but instead he pulled a split S maneuver. Fortunately for me, in his split S, he is leaking both oil and water, so we get the white and the gray smoke pouring out of him, and that lets me spot him again, or find him in the sky a little bit easier. There you can see off to my left, there's the smoke trail, so I know it's possible to spot him. There he is again, that you can see his oil and his water spraying out of the back. And again, I'm still on the offensive. He goes dropping down, and this time he managed to get a couple shots on me. I don't think he did any damage to me at all, but he managed to get a couple shots on me with that maneuver. Hit me from the top, which is good. The 110 does seem to be rugged and seem to be able to take the hits from everything except for AI and biplanes that shred me in just in seconds. So here again, going after Pops, he's getting some flak attack now, but that white and black smoke there is really making him obvious. And at this point, he's still kind of far away, a couple hundred meters off of me. But I attempted to do some shooting, and Pops just nosedives and slams his plane into the ground. The message there was he damages his right aileron, which may have been from the impact. I watched the replay, and it looked like the aileron came off right before he hit the ground. But I have a suspicion that that was probably just the way it recorded. I mean, in the end, I did get credit for that kill, so I must have damaged his plane enough to hit it to the ground. And so I'll call that a bit of success. In our first of 3 encounters in this game, I'll consider that a bit of success. Since my plane was still in good condition, I stayed up and went towards the north, towards the center of the map, the center of the north part of the map, in order to be able to encounter Pops a little bit closer. Don't make him fly so far to come get to me this time. The AI were largely leaving us alone at this point in the map. There's a big segment of this game that I actually eliminated because it was between kills and it was me sort of battling AI off my tail. I managed to shoot one down, but somehow in the video recording, the tail gunner in this plane never points to the bad guys. He was always pointing off in an irrelevant direction, even though I actually was shooting the bad guys, and I managed to down a plane and hit another one, hit the oil tank of another one, and scare them away. It just didn't record right, and then eventually another AI got me and shot me down. So I cut out all that middle part and just left the 3 encounters that I had with Pops in these parts of the map. So here I am getting closer. You can see the enemy airstrip a little off to my right. And I have not I'm looking for Pops. There he is. I think somebody's off in the distance. I'm checking them out. Looking for Pops at this point. He's taken off, and I didn't know where he was. In fact, that is him coming right at me. We both took a few shots, and I don't know that either one of us did anything, but immediately I'm forced to reverse. Now, this next bit, you're going to see something kind of cool that I did. I'm sacrificing a little bit of my views. You can actually see what Pops did, because he handled this dogfight really well. So he's flying up kind of high. I'm pulling a lead turn here, trying to make sure that I see if I can't get a couple lead shots on him. But he's still high that he's forcing me to lose energy while I climb. So rather than climb completely with him, I'm attempting to circle below him. You can see there now he's diving down to gain some energy. I pull and turn. The little inbox window in my view might be just a tad out of sync, but I think it's close enough. You can see he's rolled over, and I'm trying to get a couple shots in there, but all those shots are falling either behind him or kind of short. Again, I set my convergence to about 150 meters, which is just so that the enemy plane wings ought to be just inside the circle, and at this point I'm shooting at the guy, and he's probably 300 or 400 meters away at this point. Desperately trying to get something. Pops is pulling some evasive spin maneuvers there. He pulls back up again, so I follow, and a right bank on his on his part. I follow from down below. It's turning into a fairly low altitude dogfight with some harsh turns. I'm still behind him, and at this point I'm still in the offensive and Pop is still in the defensive, which I think is very good for me. I'm able to not completely turn with him, but at least to keep him somewhere in my visual range behind him. Actually, from his camera view, you just saw me tailing behind. Following along behind again, he pulls up, and I think this is the maneuver where Pops changes the dogfight. He actually manages to pull a complete loop. This is the reason why I wanted his video in there. He pulls a complete loop, and what that's done to me here is I have totally lost sight of him now. So I have to spend the next several instances. He managed to get a couple shots on me. I'm going to spend the next several instances looking for him. As you can see from my bottom view, I'm still hunting for where he is, trying to take advantage of turning, try to get a quick look at the map and see if I can't spot where his plane is gone. But I'm looking and looking and looking and still haven't managed to find anything. And there, finally, I get a view on him, and I finally get a look. But at this point, I'm still chasing him. And it's about this time when Pops manages to come up. I think that was him I was just chasing. At this point, Pops has gone really high, and I'm still spinning to try to keep up with that. So with that big loop move, I went from offensive to defensive, and now Pops looks like he's bearing down on me. I should be somewhere over that river, and he's reversing. I'm turning towards him, but at this point, Pops dives down, firing at me. I fire at him, and he wins that battle, comes out on top. His plane is the one that survives, and my plane right there, you can see with the shredded wing, is the one that goes down. So kudos to Pops. That loop maneuver really changed things. There I just skipped over a whole segment of video in which I did some battling with the AI. The one plus side to doing that in this plane is that I can actually use the tail gunner to scare the AI off my tail in a way that I can't do it when I'm dogfighting. This AI won't leave you unless you get them to crash. In this case, that the tail gunner managed to scare them off several times, although eventually one AI did manage to shoot me down. So this is the relanding. This is me taking off again after that whole segment where I battled the AI and not against Pops. The game is getting pretty close to the end here. It was nearing around 15, 20 minutes or so. So I've taken off, trying to get the plane above 300 kilometers an hour. You can see the dashboard works really well. Even the compass in the dashboard works, and the clock are both accurate, which is pretty great. So here I am headed towards Stalingrad, looking to see if I can't spot Pops. Do a quick look behind, although this plane is very difficult to spot enemies behind you to check your six and check things out. You can rely a little bit on the tail gunner, who will fire if any plane comes in his firing arc. So when you hear your tail gunner start to automatically fire, he never seems to hit anything, but at least that's a good sign that I need to be checking my six pretty quickly. So it is a nice way of having your wingman check your six for you, or having your co-pilot or your gunner check your six for you. So here, gaining some altitude and spotting a couple planes sitting high up over Stalingrad. So I had to go check those out and see who they are. I'm above 300 kilometers per hour, that sort of low central speed, and then the altimeter is right near it. So I've just climbed up and finally getting closer to some of these enemy dots. There are a couple up ahead of me. It's difficult to see in this resolution, but on a large HD TV you can actually see things a lot better. There was a time when I was playing on an old-fashioned style television and I couldn't see very well. One of the planes is trailing smoke, and that plane I decided to check out fairly quickly. And that plane seems to be the Allied plane, and a quick look at the silhouette told me that it probably was Pops again. So I thought, here's my chance to go after him again. He's already been hit probably by an AI, and he's already trailing smoke and oil or something there. Smoke and water. That will make it easier, but again, the maneuvers that he pulls, diving down to gain velocity, and then using that velocity to come back up again. I am on his tail. I don't know if he even sees me on this case, but I couldn't get enough of a lead that turn, so again, pulling a lead turn, try to gain some speed on him, close the distance, and he's getting closer and closer, although he's just maybe 250 meters out of range. And a quick shot there as I get close enough to shred it off his right wing. This time he's in LA7 and Pops goes down safely in the parachute. But that's the end of the battle. Cheers, and thanks a whole lot for watching.